What is up, my proper compadres? Welcome back to the channel, and today we're gonna be talking about Batwoman. And because of all the big Joker news that's been coming out, because it hit theaters this weekend, I think it sort of overshadowed Batwoman, because when I first heard oh yeah, Batwoman premiered on Sunday, I was like, what? It did? When did this happen? I watched the episode and I took some notes, and here I'm gonna tell you my thoughts on it. Before we get started, please hit that like button if you're new here, hit that subscribe button, and comment and share this video, because that's the only way for YouTube to take notice and be like, oh, this guy is doing decent things, we'll recommend his video. So yeah, I would greatly appreciate that, and I'd like to thank you all in advance. So anyways, let's just get into it. So the show opens up with Ruby Rose, who plays Kate Kane. It opens up with her handcuffed underwater, kinky, and she narrowly escapes by breaking the ice that's on the surface. Otherwise, there would be no show, and I would have saved myself a lot of time. And then when she surfaces, some Eskimo guy that she's training with is timing her, because this is some sort of weird death exercise. I don't even know what she's doing with the Eskimo guy, but he doesn't really matter because he's only in it for 2 scenes and then he's gone. But back in Gotham City, we see that Batman has been gone for 3 years. Nobody really knows where he's gone, why he left, what happened, but the reason that they give is because Batman doesn't care anymore and he's given up. And that kind of reminds me of... ugh. Yeah, he just kind of Luke Skywalkered himself and just ran away. So after 3 years of Batman being gone, this private security firm called the Crows, or Crow, or whatever, I don't know, the Bird Group, which is led by Kate's father, Jacob, they decided that it's time to turn off the bat signal because he's never coming back. After 3 years, it's pretty much time to give up on the hope of Batman ever returning. But before they can do that, the big baddie of the show, Alice, the blonde chick that was in the trailers with her gang of bunny rabbit people who clearly watched Donnie Darko way too many times, ends up crashing the party and kidnaps one of the security guards, Sophie. And then back in Antarctica, the Eskimo guy receives a phone call from a walkie-talkie, because that's how phones work. You can just make a phone call from a walkie-talkie. You didn't have to get a cell phone, apparently. All you needed was a kid's walkie-talkie. I wish I was kidding about this, but I'm... whatever. And on the phone is Kate's stepsister. Fuck, I can't... Ugh. Improper! And on the phone is Kate's stepsister, Mary, who informs Kate that her ex-girlfriend, Sophie, is the person who was kidnapped by Alice. Ruby Rose decides to return home. And then in a series of flashbacks, we get pretty much all the information that we need in regards to Kate and Sophie's relationship. They were both in some basic training in the military, so they're caught making out, and the guys just scream at them, and they basically have to sign this paper that says something along the lines of this never happened or anything, and if they don't sign it, then they get discharged. Kate does not sign the papers, but Sophie does. And as much as I felt bad for Kate in that moment, at the same time, I just kind of was like, have you seen Ruby Rose? She'll do just fine. So Kate breaks into the Wayne Manor, where she runs into not Alfred. I know his name is Luke Fox, but he's supposed to be the son of somebody. Lucius, whatever. He's not Alfred to me. I'm just gonna call him not Alfred, because that's essentially the role that he's playing, so that's what I'm gonna refer to him as. So not Alfred is really bad at his job, so when she runs into not Alfred, he just totally fails at arresting her because he's a man, and he gets handcuffed to a wall. And I'm telling you, this guy is just really bad at his job. This person, without really knowing who she is, he says that Batman... Improper! Excuse me, Bruce Wayne, who he knows is Batman, and we'll find out later that is the truth. He says that Bruce Wayne has been gone for 3 years, much like Batman's been gone for 3 years. And seriously, anybody with a brain should figure that out. This rich guy is just gone after all this time, and so is Batman. Who would have thought? Plot holes, I guess. Also, secret identity needs to be kept a secret, so the people just have to resort to being Really, really stupid. So she brings the footage to her father, and they find out where Sophie's been taken because I guess Kate remembered something that her sister and her did. Oh, and by the way, quick backstory. Kate's mom and sister were killed in a car accident, but we'll talk more in depth of that later. Trust me, it plays a big part in this, so yeah, just keep that in mind. So this place where her and her sister used to take a Ouija board is where they end up going, I guess, because this person has a vendetta against Jacob and the Crow and all that. So anyways, when Kate gets to the place, she gets captured and tied up, and she just tells Kate that she really just has this big vendetta with her father. So this is where I kind of got lost here. There's some boring villain talk, and the villain banter takes place. Whatever. And Alice says that Jacob Kane wants to be the White Knight of Gotham City. I'm quoting this. This is exactly what she says. White Knighting. But in reality, he's not actually a White Knight. He's a bully, and his army bullies people, the citizens of Gotham, into submission and obedience. And she wants, here's the big motivation, and I quote, she wants the world to know that he doesn't scare her. Man bad, woman good. Even though you're the bad guy in this, or bad girl. Bad girl. See, that's why this doesn't work. I'm calling her the bad guy because it makes me seem like less of a creep. Come on, give me some slack here, all right? But long story short, the motivation is just super lame, and I don't buy any of it because it sucks. Anyways, Kate gets knocked out at the end of that speech, and then she wakes up in Mary's illegal clinic hospital thing. Yeah, apparently it is an illegal clinic, and I don't know if it's why. Maybe, I don't know. It's totally not creepy at all, nor is it convenient to the plot. But that's all I'm gonna say about that. Mary's such a weirdo! Anyway, Kate goes to her father and explains the vendetta to him, and they get into an argument about how overprotective he is of her because she's the last thing that he has, which is strange because, you know, that's kind of a slap in the face to his stepdaughter and his new wife. By the way, both of them are Asian, so makes him kind of low-key sound a little racist, because white man bad. And then they talk about him getting married and sending Kate away to the Eskimo island for training or whatever, and you know, long story short, daddy issues. So Kate goes back to the manor and finds not Alfred. They find the secret Bat Cave, and then she finds out, of course, that Bruce Wayne, her cousin, is actually Batman, which then triggers a flashback of hers, the death of her mother and sister, Beth. So basically what happens is, based on everything that I've gathered, because I did have to watch this part a second time just so I'm getting my story straight, Batman and the Joker are like fighting and stuff, but you don't see it because, you know, yeah, I mean, actually Batman is only in one shot this entire show, and it's like in a flashback, and you barely see him. Anyways, the Joker and the Batman are fighting, but we don't see it because that's much cooler stuff that we're not allowed to see because men being heroes is just not the point of the show. So they almost collide with the bus, and then the car's about to go off of the bridge, and then Batman hooks some grapple hook onto the car and the bus, and then goes off and fights the Joker in the bus and saves people, and yay, that stuff. But what happens is the mom's knocked out in the front seat, and the grappling hook is not really working. It was some poor engineering, as not Alfred said. I guess people make mistakes. And this was when she was like 10 years old, so you have like a 10-year-old Kate climbing out the back seat of the back window, and she gets out, and then unfortunately her sister Beth is kind of trapped in there. The grappling hook breaks, and the car falls off the bridge, and she witnesses her mother and her sister die. And then she discovers the bat suit, and that is when we hear the infamous line, "It will be perfect when it fits a woman." So yeah, that happens because Bruce became Batman so he could play by his own rules. That's her interpretation of it, and there's a lot of playing by your own rules and being a rebel and, you know, strong, independent woman themes. This isn't gonna be the whole series, is it? Girl power! And then we cut to this park where there's this picnic movie theater, movie screening, and Alice threatens to blow the place up and has Sophie, like, literally on a roof, and if she moves an inch, she will die. And of course, Batwoman goes in and saves the day. She takes out some of the bunny rabbit gang members and fights Alice for a little bit, and then she grabs a knife that was thrown at her, and then she sees Sophie falling off the plank, and so she jumps off and grabs her, and she lands on her back like several stories down and falls conveniently on a soft bed. I'm not kidding. Like one, either the bed should have broke at the very least, or like Ruby Rose should be injured at this point. But at the same time, it's like the bat suit, so that's fine. But come on, the bed is still perfectly fine? I find that very hard to believe. But anyway, Sophie recognizes that, oh, a Batman? Oh, no, it's not Batman, it's a woman. Oh. Huh. But anyways, Kate saves the princess and then walks off onto the ledge of the roof and just kind of looks down at the city of Gotham, and some children see her and is like, hooray, Batman has returned! Yeah, everyone assumes that Batman is back or some kind of imposter of Batman. No one has any clue that it's possibly a woman. So yeah, that's secret identity things. Yeah, that works. That flies, I guess. Cool. And then the next day, Sophie just returns to work, and she runs into Kate and her are talking and chit-chatting for a little bit. And then a man just kind of approaches and, hi, my name is whoever. Turns out that's Sophie's husband. Turns out she married a man. And I'm not gonna lie, I kind of felt a little sorry for Kate at this point, but you know, it is what it is. And as I said earlier, you know, she's gonna be just fine because she's looks like Ruby Rose, so I guess that's the end of that story arc. Or is it? I don't know, she's probably gonna end up getting them divorced at some point, so yeah, it turns out he's a toxic white male or whatever. It's gonna be something like that. Yeah, I'm just bracing myself. Then she talks to her dad about possibly joining the team, and she doesn't quite give an answer to it, but it's kind of implied that she might just be her own thing because she's Batwoman, or I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen for that, but then she takes a glimpse at this newspaper headline, which is really strange, and it literally read, "We bat leave." Like believe, except bat leave. What do you say to that? It's really, really bad. Oh god, this is so bad. And then she's in the Batcave and she's writing a letter to Batman, and I'm gonna take a look at my notes because this is it's not something that I can just memorize. She says, "I believe you're gonna come home someday, Bruce. So before you kill me for borrowing a few of your things, I want you to read my story. Because it's only just begun." And not Alfred sees Kate writing in the diary thing, tells her that Batman never stopped looking for Beth, which is her sister, by the way, because Batman never found the body. Gee. And then Kate remembers that ruby diamond thing that her and her sister used to wear. They had like matching ones. And on this knife that she happened to pull from that whole fight with Alice, she finds the matching diamond thing. And guess what? Turns out Alice has been Beth the whole time, which is not something you want to reveal in a pilot episode. When you're gonna have a cliffhanger like that, this is like supposed to be like a big revelation, but it was just not really wow. And then Beth says, "I'll win you over, dear sister. We will rule Gotham together." And that's where the episode ends. So my thoughts on this, well, yeah, it's just kind of bad. The side characters aren't really memorable, they're just kind of weird. And I kind of noticed that every obstacle that is in front of Kate, all the obstacles that she faces, the people who are getting in her way to accomplish her goals and have her desires are all men. Men are just in the way, and she needs to push them out so she can get what she wants. I mean, there's reasons for each one to happen, but think of it this way. Like, the military guys are just like, no, you two can't be in a relationship. This is awful. This is bad. No homo. And that's how her relationship doesn't work. And then, of course, she marries a man, and then she's like, well, shoot, it's another man in the way. And then, of course, her father, who's very overprotective of her because she doesn't even want to lose her, but he doesn't want to really see her either because she sends her off to the Antarctica Eskimo island. This thing is all over the place. I mean, it's not as bad as I thought it was gonna be, but I'm just gonna give it a couple more episodes to where it'll get very, very bad. This whole premise is just, it's a bit of a joke. This whole idea that, you know, she just comes in and takes his stuff. You know, I get it. I get why. The execution would have been so much better if it wasn't just so woke. It wasn't just preaching, like, female power, which, you know, listen, there's nothing wrong with having females in there, being females as, like, the main characters, but at least write good female characters. Like, the villain, like, great backstory and everything, but you executed it really poorly. You should have saved that for at least a few episodes in. And of course, not Alfred is just a goof. Because he's a man, he has to be a silly doofus sidekick. That's what he's resorted to. I mean, overall, like, I thought this was gonna be a million times worse, so at least there's some things that are going for it. Like, I kind of like how, like, the backstory of Kate, and also I really did like the backstory with her relationship with Sophie. But yeah, not as bad as I thought it was going to be, but it's not good. So these future episodes that are gonna come out, if this is the basis for what this show's gonna be, and it doesn't, like, build on, like, any of the questions, like, where is Batman? Why would he just leave Gotham City and also not take the bat suit, not take anything at all? Like, he just leaves and that's it. He took the Batmobile or something. Or maybe the Batmobile is still there. I'd have to rewatch it again, but I don't want to because I've already watched it twice and my head hurts again from it. I give it like a 5 out of 10 because it could get better. And that's the thing. I think that's, you know, there's a reason why I don't think that this is going to be, this probably hasn't gotten as much hype because it's not as bad as people thought it was going to be, but it's still pretty bad. And also that whole news that, with the Joker coming out also really overshadowed this, for better or worse, I guess. But anyways, if you've seen it, I'm so sorry that you had to endure that. So anyways, I'm done talking about this because I've had enough for today, and well, yeah, like, my head actually is starting to hurt by talking about this so much. I don't want to think about this anymore! Anyways, guys, that is my review for Batwoman Episode 1, Season 1. Hopefully there's only one season, because I can't do this for 10 weeks in a row and not have a migraine or shoot myself. But if you've seen it, let me know what you thought of it in the comment section down below. And once again, if you like this video, hit that like button. If you're new here, hit the subscribe button. Comment, like, dislike, share, show your friends, you know, because any sort of interaction with that, you know, really does tell YouTube, like, hey, this guy, you know, people are liking his stuff. So I really appreciate, you know, all the love and support that you guys give me, and I would love for you guys to, like, just share this video, just let the people know about this. Anyways, guys, thank you all so much. Live long and proper. I will see you next week, and I will also be back next week to talk about Episode 2. So there you go. Anyways, guys, thank you all so much, and as always, have a great day.